And in Cairo, there are fears that the Spinal Injuries Unit are not taking sufficient care of their patients.
So the Spice Girls have said that Thatcher was the original Spice Girl, hasn't it? That's what they said.
Yeah.
She was mad Spice.
So presumably that group, I didn't recognise, you didn't know who they were, that first lot, but...
So you recognise them?
Not the first group.
D-Ream.
Who?
Who?
How do you know D-Ream?
I went to a lot of their early gigs. They do a song called Things Can Only Get Better, which the Labour Party have adopted as their theme tune.
So what about your new ally then, Neil Hamilton?
Is he?
Well, he was on your side, wasn't he, in
Was he?
Manchester Airport? Yeah.
Right, excellent. Who is he? He won't resign.
Who won't?
Hamilton, Neil Hamilton,
Right,
he won't
oh,
resign.
right. Who's he?
This is getting rather tiresome. It's getting like reminiscent of a conversation an old people say. Who are we talking about? Oh, yeah. Who? Can I have some tea? Who? Me? No, not Neil Hamilton.
Here's the first one, Ian and Fred. There was a slight musical clue there, I don't know if you caught it.
I think this might be up to me.
Yeah, who are they?
Because there's some people here don't know about soap operas, or soap.
Some people here don't care.
Oh dear. Yes, and he had a reverse vasectomy.
A reverse one?
Yes, it means you have it unsnipped.
I'm not sure anyone wanted to know that, Angus.
But isn't a reverse vasectomy just nothing? Just don't do anything. That must be the opposite of vasectomy, which is where they take a big pair of pliers and go whack!
Yes, yes, I'm aware of what happens there. It's what...
Why are you aware? You're not having one done now, are you?
No, I don't think so. I'm aware... well, no, the reverse vasectomy occurs after you've had
What are you doing with your hand?
And Norman Wisdom.
Well, Norman Wisdom is incredibly popular in Albania.
And he's having a laugh there because he's just yanked John Major's trousers down.
Ever the Joker, eh? Yes. Farmyard Visit is in fact...
Yeah, I was animals.
Yeah, it was to do with animals, I'll give you one.
That's just charity.
Yes, but you are 4 points ahead, so there we are. This is Mr. Ashdown, who squatted in a sheep
When
pen
did I
this
ever
week.
get a point from being behind?
He said farmyard visit, and it was to do with animals, so, you know, just sort of...
What, pumas and tigers? Average farmyard animal.
I grew up in Barnet, actually.
So did I.
Not only that, but you two went to school together, didn't
We
you?
did,
We did,
yeah, I
yes.
did when we were 12. We played rugby together. Yeah. And I was the number 8 and Will was the second row forward, and I regularly had to stick my head next to
I must say that's something that men in Amsterdam would pay ready cash for.
Mr. Prey Un Eklang is actually a Thai.
Yes, and
Is he?
Yes, and he's an uncomfortable Thai, I believe.
Is he?
I believe so.
In what way?
His dear wife felt a little bobbity one day and had at him. I have a suspicion that that may be the case.
Would you like to explain?
She went a little bobbity and...
Four bonkers in the nut.
bonkers in the nut and,
When you say bobbity.
and detached his membrum virilis from his body. His knob, for those of you not classically educated like Jeffrey Archer, and attached it to a balloon. went higher than it ever had before.
By some 25,000 feet.
Ah, is he that bloke?
He's the balloon bloke.
In the garden.
Is he the bloke who was in the garden and bought some weather balloons and then made the mistake of tying the balloons to his garden chair?
Well, he thought he could hover above
Yeah.
his neighbour's garden and have a look at them. And instead of going up 10 foot, he went up about 30,000 feet.
And he wasn't expecting to go anywhere near that high, and he floated into the flight path into Los Angeles International. And he was spotted by a Pan Am pilot.
And passengers looking out, thinking, there's a bloke up there. A garden chair.
Second class, what class is he from? He won this thing, didn't he, called a Darwin Award?
Yeah, that's right.
That's
It's
right.
for people who die in spectacularly stupid circumstances, the Darwin Award, isn't it?
Yes, without reproducing. The key thing is you can't reproduce yourself, so you contribute to the success of natural selection by topping yourself in a ridiculous The guy who won it the year before tied a sort of special kind of rocket you have for helping a military aircraft to his back and fired himself into a cliff. And the man who won the year before that died when he was trying to get a free can of Coca-Cola out of the machine, and it fell on him.
Yeah, a third tail spotted on what?
The comet.
Yeah.
Halley-Bopp comet.
Halley-Bopp comet. Halley-Bopp. Halley-Bopp. Bopp Halley. I've been there myself.
Yes, all right, I'll give you that. Halley-Bopp, or Hale-Bop, or Halley-Bop.
Pronounced Halley-Bop.
Halley-Bop.
Halley-Bopp.
Is
You haven't got it, Angus. It's Halley-Bopp.
right.
Halley-Bopp.
Well, anyway, that's the answer.
And at the last press call of the campaign, the slogan, "You can only be sure with the Conservatives," rings as true as ever. So, does anyone have any idea what Mickey Mouse was referring to?
Is it to do with the election? Or
Yes.
is it just the 6 weeks?
Let me just explain. This is an election special.
Do you mean we're going to be asked questions on the election all evening?
Yes. What does Gordon Brown have one of that Clark has two?
One spare tyre around his waist.
No, he has only one eye. He has a glass eye, Gordon Brown. And Kenneth Clark has two.
I don't think
Two
you have to
glass
mention
eyes.
Could I just point out, we don't say old people anymore, we say older people.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
Well, we don't. We say old people. And lastly, what's behind Neil Hamilton?
Cashmere sweater.
Cashew nuts.
Yeah.
No, it is in fact an advertisement, but for Ladbrokes.
Turn your lottery
Ladbrokes are accepting cash.
Yes, very good. Ladbrokes are accepting cash.
Oh.
Is exactly what it said. That's a surprise to us all. How did you get that? And it came to you.
It came up on the monitor, actually.
What did?
Oh, did it?
Are you accusing...
The first Labour sleaze.
It came up on the monitor and I read it out. If I see something on the screen, I read it. I'm an actor.
In the news this week, in recognition of Cherie Blair's immaculate appearance throughout the election, the National Guild of Hairdressers send their congratulations. Round one involves identifying one or two minor news stories of the week, beginning Paul and the Hamiltons with this slight event.
Sounds like it's going to be a film, shouldn't it? Bigfoot and the Hendersons.
A country western band.
Yeah.
Incidentally, for anyone who feels a bit jealous that they weren't invited to the Labour celebrations at the Festival Hall, here's what you missed.
Magnificent, isn't it? Look, he's going to smile. He's nearly smiling. No, he's not.
How does it compare to the Tory party celebrations?
We weren't there.
Oh, right.
I don't
That was in
know.
a scout hut somewhere. So, Ian...
Well, we decided to go to bed instead.
Right.
Well, everybody has their own way of celebrating.
Bad moose for fishermen.
Is that right? Moose?
Yes, that is right. That's
I thought it was mad cows spotted in Cornish fishing village because Edwina Curry's buying a holiday cottage down there.
You don't like her very much, do you?
Oh, how could you possibly say that? She loves her.
quite sickly.
Very fond of her.
Really? That's why I just called her a cow.
Well, this couldn't possibly be the story of the fishing boat that sank. And when the fishermen went to the insurance company and said, well, we want, you know, our boat sank. And they said, well, how did it sink? They said, well, a cow fell out of the sky, smashed into our boat and sunk it.
Oh, don't be silly.
These things happen more often than you think, you know.
If you expect me to believe that, I'm a banana.
Christine, you are now officially a banana.
Well, I've been so many things over the last few weeks and months. To be a banana will be absolutely great.
Yes.
Now, what's this?
Because...
Right, that's what he's saying. It's the right answer, what I
It
said.
is, unfortunately.
There was a plane flying across and they were taking cows that were sort of afraid to fly, were, to get them over the phobia of flying, they put a load of cows into a plane, and as they were sort of, as they were handing out the duty free, somebody left the door open and the cow...
Now I understand it. I thought you were trying to say this all happened in this country. Now I know it was in abroad. That's all right. Well, it's all
And you
right.
wonder why you lost.
Why are you giving a Hitler salute, anyway?
Oh, it's my imitation of you, Neil.
You do look cute there, Ian. There's a touch of the William Hagues there, and isn't there?
Oh, there's no need to be offensive.
What are you doing with the other hand?
What are you doing with that dog?
Do you keep Win-A-Lot in your underpants?
Next, what is possible at the Ritz?
Anything.
Anything.
Dinners.
Dinners.
Dinners,
Dinners
no.
is no. Grammar's not good there.
No,
Dinners is possible. Grammar's not the strong point of private eye.
He edits a magazine. You can't expect him to know these things.
I know, he's made me a cover girl.
Really?
Yeah, afraid so, a few weeks ago. Sorry.
Now, what did we say?
Oh,
Oh, that was it. You were saying, what would it take to make you resign? And he said about 10 grand in a brown envelope. Grammar all right there for you?
I think so.
Oh, just before we go, I have to give you your fees. And there was a ban on one or two things.
Oh, there was a ban on handguns. Are you referring to that?
No, I'm not, but there was.
Well, what are you referring to? I might be able to help you out, because otherwise I won't know what you're talking about, you see.
Kind of hoping you might tell me, but...
why should I tell you what you already know? What would be the point of that?
It's the idea of a quiz, Paul. It's been going on for
Oh, is this the quiz section? I thought we were just having a bit of a chat before the real sort of head-to-head stuff started.
On Newsnight this week, Jeremy Paxman tried to discover the truth about whether Michael Howard had ever threatened to overrule Derek Lewis by asking Mr. Howard one or two questions. Well, one question to be precise. A lot.
Did you threaten to overrule? I was not entitled to instruct Derek Lewis, and I did not instruct him. And
Did you threaten to overrule
the
him?
truth of the matter is that Mr. Marriott was not suspended.
Did you
I did
threaten
not
to overrule him?
I did not overrule Derek
Did you
Lewis.
threaten to overrule him?
I took advice on what I could or could not
Did
do,
you threaten
and
to
I
overrule him?
acted in accordance with that advice. I did not overrule Derek
Did you
Lewis.
threaten to
Mr.
overrule him?
Marriott was not suspended.
Did you threaten to overrule him?
I have accounted for my decision to dismiss Derek Lewis.
Did you threaten to overrule him?
Before the House of Commons.
I note you're not answering the question whether you threatened to overrule him.
The important aspect, which is very clear to bear in mind.
I'm sorry, I'm going to be frightfully rude, but...
Yes, you can...
Yes or no?
Question, and I will give you an
Did
answer.
you threaten to overrule him?
I discussed this with Derek.
I think we'll take that as a yes. But there was a hint of the danger prior to that happening. Do you read about that?
No, what happened?
Well,
This is remarkably like Jack and Nori.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you a story. The door warning light had actually been going on for 6.
No!
It had. 6 out of the 7 days prior to the incident.
6 out of 7 days.
Prior to the incident.
What was the plane's name? Was it Bobby?
When Channel 5 were doing all that retuning, one retuner went to somebody's house and found, to retune the video, and found a sausage stuck in the back of the video. And I said, why have you got a sausage stuck in the back of the video? And he said, well, it only worked when I kept my finger there and I got bored.
I suppose we're lucky it was just a sausage. House of 1,000 arseholes.
It was originally called the House of 1,000 Portholes. I think you've added the local slang.
Yes.
It's in Hong Kong. It's the
I would presume
Jardine...
it was in Hong Kong, yeah.
It's the Jardine Matheson building.
It is.
I was there quite recently, sitting outside.
And,
I just mention it out of interest.
who were the other
No need
9...
for a round of, gosh, a man's been abroad. Blimey.
Who were the other 999?
Is it to do with Feng Shui?
You dirty sod.
The clue, if I have to give you one, which I think I do, is you, Paul. You could have been in this odd one out.
Oh, they're all arseholes.
Still worried about that joke, aren't you? Richard Branson, did he shave his beard? Oh, he hasn't got a beard there. He usually has got a beard. Did he shave his beard off for charity?
And his legs, I think.
And he's shaved his legs off. That's more of a cut than a...
Dedicated man.
Very dedicated.
He was dressing up as a bride to launch a new range of virgin bridal wear.
And so those three certainly have all been sheared or shaved for charity, so I don't know who the other guy is, so he's the odd one out.
Yeah. Do you know who the other one is? The Mr. Bukharam?
Is he an Iranian Minister of Justice?
Close. President of Ecuador.
Is that the Actors' Union?
Do you want to know more about Mr. Abdallah Bukharam?
No.
Oh, well, I'm going to tell you anyway.
Well, I don't want to know it.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Well, when this bit comes on, I'll turn the telly off. And I'm going to go, la, 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 I can't hear you, I can't hear you. You can't make me know this.
Is this what you were like at school? I can imagine the metalwork class. No wonder you didn't get the A-level.
CSE ungraded.
Excellent work. Right, well, you better start shouting now, because here we go. Mr. Abdullah...
Da, 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 da.
Back
Da, 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 da.
Return...
Da, da, da,
This is like being at home with my 2-year-old.
Mike just let me say it. I don't know.
No, okay. I'd like to hear Martin do it.
Righto. Mr. Abdallah Bukharam. Fair enough.
What about Michael? What about someone on your side?
Yes, I'd like to hear Michael.
Mr. Abdallah...
I thought you were reading.
Yeah, I'll read it.
Everybody.
Let's throw water at him out of our glasses.
That never happened, did it?
I think you should read that out.
And guess what would happen if I did? The answer is, I have to tell you, that all of them have been refused permission to have streets named after them. Except for Ernest Foster, whose name was immortalised in Italy last weekend in the Piazza Ernest Foster.
That's nice, isn't it?
That's a lovely story. Yes, in Suio, near Naples. In fact, you've probably been there to see some Piero della Francesca paintings on your way to Hong Kong.
Your bitterness knows no bounds. The odd excursion abroad and Angus is consumed with hatred.
No, I hated you before. Yes. No, it is in fact top of the poet charts.
Oh, it's Betjeman.
It's not.
It's Kipling.
It's still not.
It's Church Bell poem by Betjeman. Oh, those lovely church bells. I wish they would wish me well. I'm going to go play tennis with my friend Dennis. Look at that tower. It's got lovely architecture.
Went off a bit towards the end.
Yeah, he was losing interest.
Yeah.
It was a deathbed poem.
Yeah.
They couldn't think of anything to rhyme with
Next, Big is Beautiful sums up what?
New Bessemer converter.
You seem to know a lot about this.
I did metal work.
Oh, so you did, yes.
I know the theory, I just wasn't any good at the practice.
You didn't have a Bessemer converter in your home, did you?
I had to make one for homework.
They're about as big as this studio, aren't they?
Don't tell me about it.
Next, what goes blue in cooler?
Queen Mother.
No, it's these Teletubbies are clearly dreamt up by someone, well, who's been using stimulants other than coffee.
Yeah.
They're mad, the Teletubbies.
Yeah.
They're completely bonkers. They run around talking drivel and throwing themselves at each other, screaming.
What do you think Bill and Ben were on then?
BBC One.
So you've actually watched Teletubbies, have you?
Might have done.
I've seen a picture.
He auditioned for it.
Do you know the names then of the Teletubbies?
La-la.
La-la.
Pee-wee,
Po.
Whistle Chops and Portillo.
Bum.
And there's one called Posh Teletubby.
What was he in the news recently?
Well, he was in a painting.
Oh, yeah.
Someone did
Oh,
a
yes.
pastiche of a painting by
Friar
Piero
Angelico.
della Francesca of the Resurrection. A rather good painting. But having got called an arsehole by Paul last week for suggesting I'd been abroad, I won't mention the fact that I've seen it.
Where did you see it?
It's in Umbria. I think it's in San Sepolcro. It's in one of those villages.
You complete arsehole. To bore you even further, Ian, who's his great
No, this
hero?
is terribly interesting.
Any idea?
Who's Cantonar's hero?
Rambo.
Yes.
Oh.
The poet Rambo.
Oh, the poet. What chance has a poet got in the jungle? A poet wouldn't even know how to fire a bazooka. Or rhyme it.
He actually likened Rambo to, or the works of Rambo, to the pass from Pelé to Carlos Alberto in the 1970 World Cup final, which we can see here now. Ian, perhaps you'd like to talk us through it.
Here we go. That's Pelé to Dipsy, Dipsy to La 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 La.
Franz Schubert had syphilis and so did Henry VIII.
So what?
But they got it off each other. And Al Capone was doing the catering, so he's got syphilis as well. And Bill Clinton's had syphilis, but he didn't inhale. Is Bill Clinton the odd one out? Because he's the only one who hasn't had syphilis.
Why would we have chosen Bill Clinton, of all people?
Well, the Bill Clinton is promising to get rid of syphilis. by staying at home more. I mean, I don't know. What more is there to know? Which is the odd one out? Bill Clinton. The reason the other three had syphilis. What more do you want?
Are you suggesting you got the answer right, then?
Well, I'm suggesting that Al Capone, Franz Schubert and Henry VIII all had syphilis and Bill Clinton hasn't, which makes him the odd one out because the other three had syphilis. I don't really know how else I can put those words into another order which will satisfy you in any way.
Right.
Is the answer Raspberry Ripple?
I am going to have to give you 2 points, aren't I? Yes. Although there is a reason why.
Yeah, we'll just get on with it.
Which is that last week he made an apology to the people of Alabama.
Oh, that's right. Yes. About 60 years ago, wasn't it? These black guys were deliberately infected, or people who had syphilis were deliberately not treated as a long-term experiment to see what happened to people if you didn't treat them for syphilis, and he apologised last week.
Yes, that is exactly the answer. According to a leading medical expert, the symptoms of syphilis include violent mood swings, a tendency to repeat yourself, and violent mood swings. Shit, I already said that.
Mark...
Morrison,
the well-known rap star.
Just how well known is he?
Who I know an extremely large amount about, cried when he was sent down. Robert Maxwell, I just happen to know, cried in a court case against a magazine, which he subsequently won. At the time, I remember sitting there in court, writing, "takes out onion." But I never had any proof of this until I met someone years later, after Maxwell had died, a man who was involved in another case, who said he'd seen Maxwell the evening after he'd been crying in court, and he'd said to him, "Forget Rada, you should see me." What a charming man he was. Anyway, he didn't cry in court, he cried on television.
He being?
Peter Mandelson. So he's the odd one out, and it's about crying in court.
Is the right answer.
well done.
Very good.
And you've got Things Can Only Get Better. It's the party, isn't it? It's New Labour.
It's Jimmy Savile doing Dee Ream. all around the world, we're almost the worst at maths. Half the kids asked couldn't work out how many quarters there are in 5.
Right, let's move on then.
How many quarters in 5 what? 5 oranges or 5 Volkswagens? I mean, what you know?
The same number, doesn't matter whether it's an orange or a Volkswagen.
Oh, try telling that to the Automobile Association. Somebody get a phone call out and there's an orange broken down on the M1. He's telling people at home there's no difference between an orange and a Volkswagen.
Well, unless it was an orange and Volkswagen, I suppose that would be the other.
I beg your pardon?
I didn't hear what I said. Did you advocate the sterilisation of men on that programme?
I can't remember, but I...
You can't remember?
But I should
I remember.
I should have. The thing is, you wouldn't have anything to worry about. We'd take lovely, fresh sperm from nice young men.
What, you personally, Jermaine?
We'd have a whole army of health workers doing it.
Would you have it delivered to your house like milk?
No, it would be in the government sperm bank. And in order to get access to it, to have children, you'd have to show that you were a decent chap. And you would spend more than 2 minutes a week with your children.
Why, if you were a decent chap, would you want someone else's sperm?
It's your sperm. You can only get your sperm back. You can only get your sperm back if you show up with, you know, a good employment record and stuff, and then they give you some. Then you've got to find a woman who's interested.
I don't know if I ever told you, Jermaine, but one can get one's own sperm.
But the whole point is that when I'm Queen of the Universe, you won't be able to. See?
Right.
Because, you see, one of the things, everybody knows that the sperm count is falling dramatically, even as you sit there looking at me, and your sperm count is going down.
As I look at you, Jermaine, it's down to 0.
Australians find New Zealanders' accents very funny, don't they?
First and sixth, wouldn't you?
I beg your pardon?
They haven't got a vowel to their names,
Haven't
New
they?
Zealanders. No, they say fifth and sixth when they mean fifth and sixth.
They're good on countdown.
But did you see the list of things that you're supposed to pack, apparently, if you come to this country, which is waterproof jacket, medical kit, neck pouch, thongs for shared bathrooms.
That's so you won't get verrucas. Where other people's verruca-y feet have been walking, you keep your thongs on.
Well, you mean thongs for your feet? Where do you usually get a verruca?
What tests on squid?
Arithmetic.
Driving tests.
No, squid can't drive, can they? It's ridiculous.
Only because nobody's bothered to teach them.
Test.
They can steer, they can do the clutch, they can brake, mobile phone, put a tape in, they don't have, you know. If anything, they're the ideal animal to drive. Really are, aren't they? We feel so superior, our 2 legs and 2 arms, but look at the squid, it can do anything.
Yes, but it's not driving test, I have to tell you.
Well, don't you think it's about time we did teach them how to drive?
The eye tests.
Why?
For when they're driving.
I mean, you can't just let a squid out in charge of a car. You've got to make sure it can read a number plate.
Yeah.
Because their eyesight underwater, you can't sort of test them underwater. Where's that fish? Can you read the back of that fish from 20 yards? That's no good. You've got to, you know, if you're going to... It's madness to teach squids to drive cars. Really, isn't it? They've got no road sense.
I'm not against it, in principle, obviously.
Well, you're not against what?
The idea of squids driving.
Why is it? It's madness. You can't driving cars.
Can I
The
just...
highway code, they'll just put 8 legs up and say, oi, top spot, you're the
Can I just apologise for saying driving test?
Yes, if you would.
You want to teach squids to drive with your bonkers in the nut, you are.
That brings us to the end of this run of Have I Got News For You, which has seen Labour winning an election, England winning the cricket, and most incredible of all, Ian winning the series.
Thank you.